Hello, Instagram and the world. This is Jonathon Melendrez. I'm a professional ballroom dancer, wedding choreographer, and three-time winner of The Knot. Today's topic is going to be why men don't dance, and this is going to be a great interview. We've got someone special on us, someone special just for this occasion. But I do want to bring out a couple of items before we start. This show we do Monday and Friday at 12 o'clock. Mondays and Fridays at 12. We're open for comments, so please, if you're watching this live stream, please don't be afraid to write a question, make a comment. I also want to let everybody know that the dance studio is now open. We are open for private lessons. Group classes are still online, but you can call 954-296-0298 for private lessons and wedding lessons. So if you want to get back into dancing and have a good time, we do it safely. We wear masks, face shields, and we have a lot of wipes so that people can stay safe. So I want to open this up to other wedding professionals to chime in and to be a part of this first dance venue where other wedding professionals can chime in and be exposed to questions and hopefully let people know that they're around. I'm going to bring in Nuran from Angela Nuran Shoes, and we're gonna talk right now about why men are. And this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and I just don't understand what prevents men from getting on the dance floor and dancing. Hey, Nuran.
Hey, John, how are you?
You look fantastic. Look at you, so pretty.
Can you see all my bling?
I love it. I love it.
This is another one. This is another one of my many Zola Keller outfits. This is a gown I bought. Yeah, Zola. She's my go-to gal, and she keeps me beautifully attired for anything that I need to do. I've done some TV interviews, TV performances, stuff like that, and so I bought many outfits from her, and this is a gown that I bought for one of the Gold Coast Ballroom New Year's Eve parties many years ago. Oh my gosh, I miss being in the ballroom, John. Paul and I really miss getting out there and dancing. So, but we have to be safe. So I'm really glad to hear that you're getting back into your ability to dance and teach with the appropriate facial.
Yeah. Gear.
And yeah. Survival gear.
Yeah.
Survival
gear. You know, so getting back into teaching and dancing, you know, this is something that I feel like I have to head on, take on this challenge head on because, you know, we're being faced, you know, all the states or most of the states are being opened. And there's just no way to prevent this. So, you know, instead of playing defense all this time, you know, it's time to head on, take this challenge, and deal with it. It's a part of life, and we just have to deal with it. So, you know, I am opening up private lessons again, face to face, and when I'm ready to do that, I am wearing face mask, and if I have a face shield, I'll wear a face shield. But I do have access to the ballroom again, and there are a lot of ballrooms out there that aren't being safe, or in my version aren't being safe. But there's a few out there that are being safe. That wipe down the tables, they wipe down the floor. They have the floors all taped out, 6 feet apart. So those are the venues that I'm going to start teaching my lessons out of right now. So that's how it goes.
Yeah. I remember when Paul and I when we first got married, we had the house in Boynton Beach. And remember, I had the dance studio in my house. And
yes,
you came
I remember that.
In our home. Are you doing any in-home lessons with people?
I'm not doing any in-home lessons yet. I'm not doing any of that yet. But to go back, the lesson that I had with you and Paul in your room upstairs at your old house, I have video of that, you know. I have video.
Oh my God.
That is on
Oh,
that is on YouTube in your little room upstairs. That is on
really?
YouTube.
On your YouTube channel?
On my YouTube channel. I think we were working on salsa or swing or something like. It was probably swing.
Definitely no
Was the
salsa.
salsa?
Are you Melendrez? Melendrez? You think we were doing swing?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because you know, being Mexicano, right? Being Latin, uh, you know, I always get the calls for all the Latin dances. And you know what? I don't mind. I enjoy the Latin dances, but I also love dancing the ballroom, the foxtrot, waltz, and tango. I love those dances too. But you know, I do get calls for the Latin dancing, and that's okay. I have no problem with that. But you know, I have no problem, you know, working a waltz with anybody, or a foxtrot or a quick step with anybody too. But hey, you know, I'll take it.
John, you're a gifted, very, very talented dancer. I always loved dancing with you. It didn't matter what the dance style was, and you're so beautifully equipped and trained and knowledgeable and experienced. So I know that whatever anybody wants to learn to do, you're going to be just a perfect teacher for them, doing their wedding choreography or brides and their dads and mothers and sons and bridal party and all that good stuff. So.
Thanks. Thank you
Yeah,
for saying that.
just
You
go
know,
ahead.
thanks for saying that. But there's one thing that I just never understood. I've always been dancing. In fact, I started teaching dancing in high school. In high school, some of my friends would ask me to show them how to break dance because I was break dancing. That's how I got into dancing. And at the time in high school, some of my buddies and some of the girls in high school would ask me to show them how to dance, you know, some moves and such. So I would go home with them on the school bus, and I would go to their house. You know, I'm just a high school kid, and I would go with them to their house and have a little lesson right in their room. You know, teach them a little break dancing, or at the time the Eddie Murphy was big. You know, and it was a lot of fun, and I always got a kick out of it. And I'd call mom to come pick me up. Hey, mom, come pick me up. I'm done dancing or done teaching, and it was cool. So then, you know, since high school, and even back in high school, because today's topic is why men don't dance. And when I thought of that, the first thing I thought of was my high school days. I was dancing. I was break dancing in high school. In fact, even before high school, we were breakdancing, and me and my crew at the time were outside at the mall because it was a good open space, and I brought my little boombox with me, and we would play music. And I would bring my brother with me, which, by the way, royalpalacedance.com.
Yeah.
I would bring my brother with my buddies and the linoleum and our boombox, and I would have him do security clearance for us. Make sure, you know, no security guards or police were coming to kick us out. And every time there was, he'd run over, hey, the cops are coming, or security's coming, we gotta go. And that's what his job was. My little brother's job was to look out for us and make sure the coast was clear. And then, you know, years later, after the technology crash back in, I don't know when it was, the 80s and 90s, I kiddingly made a joke. I said, hey, why don't you open up a dance studio? You know, I'll support you. And it was just a joke, Naran. And then all of a sudden, my punk brother, he opened up a studio. He started 2 days a week, or was it 1 or 2 days a week? And I would go there, spend the whole week with him, train him up, and then he would have his little group classes. And then eventually...
You were training him how to teach. This is not very different from when you were, you were one of my very first trainers when I was training to be a ballroom instructor at Fred Astaire. You were one of my trainers back then.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys would have to train us as trainees,
right,
and then kick us out there on the ballroom floor with our new students, and here we go. You know, we would have to train them what you had just trained us to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it runs in your blood. You've got lots of experience in that.
And you know what? Let me take it back even further than high school. My mother was a dancer. She's a dancer through and through. She was. I remember she taking me to one of her dance classes and one of her gymnastic classes. And I loved it. I just loved watching her move around. It was pretty cool. And the music was great too. I remember she had done, at the time she was working at a hospital, and her hospital was doing a variety show. And my brother and I, you know, we were playing instruments. I was playing a saxophone, and my brother was playing a violin and a trumpet. And so, you know, of course, she's a proud mom. So she pulled us into the rehearsal. She wanted us to be on stage and show off our skills as musicians. And I remember, you know, the rehearsal for that show. It was such a cool environment. You know, in the background, we had a little rehearsal space, and we would go down in the rehearsal. All the dancers, all the performers were in the cellar of the Knights of Columbus, I think it was. And we all would practice our acts. You know, there was a girl there singing, and there was other people dancing and other people doing this. And that environment was just like, wow, this is such a cool environment. Everyone here is doing something that they like to do. And I was just so hooked on that. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And so the older I got, I mean, I'd like to dance already. So high school, I was break dancing. And then I took jazz and ballet at one of the academies in town. And I really got into it. And then I realized, I said, man, there are so many pretty girls here dancing. There are a lot of pretty girls out here. And
you know, on that note, actually, on that note, I'm gonna drag somebody into I think that you wonderful husband Paul will have a lot to discuss with this this idea about why men don't dance. Hang on one second, John.
Yes, no problem. And if my aunt is out there, Tia, please have mom.
Hello.
Please call mom. Paul,
How are you?
how you doing, man? Good to hear. Good to see you.
You know, it's funny. I'm sitting here listening to what you're saying about the pretty girls out there dancing, and if I could tell you kind of what I did, may I, and how I got involved in dancing.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
My mother loved to dance. My father didn't dance. So when we were in high school, my mom would say, "Come on, dance with me." You know, we didn't know what we were doing, and my mother didn't know how to teach, but she liked to dance. At least we were better than nothing. Not much, but a little better than nothing.
Yeah.
And so I always do. My mother always said, "My boys are going to know how to dance," and she obviously thought that was important. So anyway, when I finally to jump ahead, I can be very wordy. But when I first moved to Florida, on that thing about pretty girls, my first day here, I was living in Aventura, and my first night I went to the Bermuda Bar. Remember that one, John?
I remember the Bermuda Bar. Yes.
And I went there, and I'm looking at all these beautiful Latinas around there, and they're all dancing, and everybody's dancing salsa. I said, I got to learn this. I got to learn this. Otherwise, I'm stuck standing here.
Yes.
So I started learning salsa. And you know, like I recommend to all men, I said, you know what? Start off, if you need to, take some group lessons.
Yes.
That's what I did, group lessons. And then I, just to kind of get started and get into it, and then I took some private lessons, because you got to learn, a man's got to learn how to lead.
Sure, got it.
So, as you know, that's critical.
Yes.
And if you lead, you can dance. You know the basic steps, and you can lead. You can dance with anybody.
Yes.
So the benefit of the group lessons were that I made dance friends.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, I had a place to go every night, and I had people to dance with. So I could practice and have a good time, and that really made it all happen for me.
Yes.
And then, of course, at the same time, I was taking privates to learn how to lead, because if a man can lead on the dance floor, as you know, I mean, he can. The world opens up to. I always believe in life and in business and in dance, positioning is everything.
Yes.
I want to be the guy selling umbrellas when it's raining. and I want to be the only guy in the corner selling. So, and when a man can dance, he walks into the ballroom, as you know, he's the guy with the umbrellas and it's raining.
Or a club, not just a ballroom.
Yeah.
Ballroom or a club. I mean, if you could do that, all of a sudden you're in demand.
All
And
girls want to meet you.
They all they come in and want to meet me. Now, as you know, when you go into a club, normally you see everybody's dressed to the nines, and the guys, slick guys, handsome guys, and what are you? You're one of the crowd, and nothing more than that. And it's kind of hard to break in, and some people can do it. And if you're the best looking guy in the place, probably easy. But for most people, it's kind of a hard scene.
Yeah.
And again, you're not positioned right. Walk into any kind of a club and you can dance, or a ballroom and a man can dance.
Weddings.
Weddings. The world is yours.
I've as part of my encouragement to get more men to dance, I tell them that dancing is a superpower. Dancing is a superpower because you could go anywhere and not only meet people, but you could dance with anybody, with any woman out there, because I don't think that women are not attracted by looks of a man. I think looks of a man does play a part in attracting a woman, but if a woman knows that a guy can dance, that's a huge magnet for them. That is huge. And being a part of the dance industry, I've talked to couples, and the woman was divorced, and she said, man, he never danced. He hated dancing, and that's why I want to learn to dance now. But if he did dance, then we could have had a better relationship. What do you think about that?
Well, I got my prize from dancing. I met my wife,
and she's a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman.
No kidding. But it started out, I was just interested in her as a dancer. So I mean, I could see that she was pretty, but there were a lot of pretty women out there. But she was dancing, and she was a great dancer, and I just wanted to hang with her.
And I was your teacher.
Yeah.
And
So let me ask you this, Paul. What do you think? What do you think are the barriers? What do you think prevents men from either just getting on the dance floor, doing something, or taking lessons, or doing anything when it comes to dancing?
Well, I think at first, people are afraid of looking stupid, feeling foolish.
Okay.
I think that's why, as I say, the first steps, if you go into a group lesson at your level, they're all in the same boat.
Right.
And everybody's more worried about themselves than they are about you. And then, of course, you take private lessons, which is critically important, at least for a man, and for a woman too. But for a man, if he's got to be able to maneuver on a dance floor and lead, he's got to know how to do it. Well, you're certainly, between you and your teacher, you're not going to be feel foolish, but that's the key. You've got to do that. So when you actually go out there, you have some confidence. You're confident and you can dance. The world is yours.
And it's true.
So they just don't know this. They don't know you got to take the steps. I even believe, which was funny when I first started out, that if people, like a lot of women say, "Well, I'll teach you how to dance," well, they didn't know how to teach,
right? And
they could dance. But the fact is, you have to have somebody who knows how to properly get you going in the right directions, doing things the right way. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to get good results. You just got to give it a shot. But permit me just tell you a quick story.
Let's hear it.
And my wife was teaching a man to dance because he married a Latina, and he was not. And he says, she's a great dancer. She's fabulous. And I don't know how to dance at all. And she's always lamenting that I can't dance with her. So he went privately, quietly to take lessons from my wife. And she taught him salsa, and she taught him that, where actually he could do a respectable job out there. So we happened to go to a wedding with the same couple. And we hadn't met his wife before. So he's going to show his wife, how good he is. but Naran told me first, dance with her. Let me know what you think of her. And so I got on the dance floor with her, and she confessed to me, I don't know how to dance. So all this time she'd been complaining to him, and she didn't know how to dance.
Right.
And all this time she'd been complaining that he didn't know how to dance. She didn't know how to dance. So funny. And he was pretty good at this point. So later he taught her, and all was well.
Yeah.
Got her going. But it's I think that every man, it was a joy to me. We've taken, my wife and I take cruises together. You dance on the cruises. I mean, they've got orchestras and I mean, there's Latin clubs, there's everything on these cruises.
Yeah.
And we had more fun. And then, but as we're dancing, everybody walks up to us and wants to meet us.
Right. Right.
So that's what it's meant to me. And our social friends are dancers. These are people we met through dance. And I'm sure you.
Yeah, there's so many benefits of dancing. I just wish that men could, understand that, we're here, hi Gigi. And, we're here, going to a private lesson is comfortable, it's safe, and gives men encouragement. And today's topic, just to let everybody know, is why men are afraid to dance. There are so many, for each man that dances, there's got to be, at least 10 females or partners that is willing to dance. I mean, if there's so many people out there that want to dance with a guy, and it's not like you have to be a fantastic dancer. You don't have to be like a Fred Astaire or John Melendrez to be out there on the dance floor. You just have to know a few steps and just know a few steps, be proficient in a few steps, and everything else comes easy. It's just not as scary as most men think it could be, and all the time women bring their men into their lesson. They fight going into the dance studio, but once they're into the dance studio and they're on their lesson, they love it. It's a great challenge.
Fun, and that's the part, John. Whether you're taking a group lesson or a private lesson, it's fun. You don't need a partner. You just need to get up and go and do it, and a new world will open up to you. Yeah. I mean, it's that simple. That's what happened.
What kind of advice, if there was somebody standing next to you and was scared of dancing, what kind of advice or what tips would you give that person? What would you tell them how to get involved in dancing? What kind of encouragement would you give them to get involved in dancing?
Well, I do get asked, and I generally say the thing to say is there a particular dance you're interested in starting with? And usually there's something, and there's group lessons. So just go to a group lesson. You'll find other people just like you. At the very least, you're going to have the camaraderie and companionship, female companionship, or the other side of it, if it's a female, male dancers are there, and you learn together, and it's fun. And I would say start that, but that's not enough. You really need to add. I mean, you could do that and have a good time. Don't get me wrong, but if you really want to do more with it, I recommend take some private lessons, and learn. As you hone your skill more, you become a more desirable dance partner. And I mean, so I would just say it might be a leap of faith, but it's not a very big leap. I mean, you go to a group dance class. I mean, it costs you maybe $10 or whatever, $15.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, don't go back. I mean, it's
right.
Really that's. So no, I would just say that it's telling men, because most men would like to dance. I think they're afraid of feeling foolish.
I agree.
And I'll share I remember when I was dating this girl when I was in high school, and we were dancing, the old freestyle or something, and I apparently did something that looked silly, and she went ahead and made a big deal about it. I was so embarrassed. I was afraid to dance for years. So
wow.
So there's a But, when I got into, as years went by and as I got some dance training, of course, they weren't laughing anymore.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
For
Paul was one of the most desirable partners when we were going to Gold Coast, John.
yeah.
There were women lining up coming to our table. Can I borrow your husband? Paul, can you dance the next one with me?
save this dance for me, save that one,
Yeah.
But if I can do it, anybody can do it.
What
Just gotta music,
Yeah. What as you started dancing and as you started taking lessons and getting out there, being a beginner dancer, what were you experiencing? What were the first indications that that this could be something that you could get into?
Well, I think it first started with the good part again about the group lessons are I met women who would go to these different clubs. I'd meet them there and we'd be dancing. So we're comfortable with each other because we'd already been dancing, in lessons together. And all of a sudden other women took notice and they might come up to me and say, would you dance, with me? So I'm not sure I'm exactly answering your question, but that was the bridge for me. All of a sudden I'm realizing, hey, I can do this.
Right.
I can do this and they like it. And so I was sold.
I got into dancing because for two reasons. I didn't want to be one of those guys on the sideline playing air guitar. That was one reason. I didn't want to be one of those guys. And two, I started getting a lot of attention from girls. Hey, John, I like the way you dance. Or hey, that was really cool. You did the wave really cool. The worm looked awesome. What kind of were you getting a lot of attention, and what kind of attention were you getting now that people started to see that you were starting to dance, you're a beginner dancer, and you started getting better? What kind of attention were you getting from the ladies?
Well, again, they're all, everybody's kind of watching each other, and everybody started out as a beginner. So, I don't find that anybody really looks down on you, and because they were all there. And so the attention was, again, is they want to dance, they want a decent dance partner, and they need us. Women don't need us for that many things anymore. I hate to say that, but this is one area they need us. So consequently, if you could just show that you're out there and dancing, that makes all the difference. I went one time to a club with my father, and I was dancing with some of the women there, and my dad, who couldn't dance at all the women were approaching him, and he was in his 70s at the time, maybe 80, and asking him to dance. He said, I don't really know how to dance. They said, come on girl.
Yeah.
So they bring him on the dance floor, and he actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. I tell you, dancing makes a man confident. It makes a man confident, and I've been told many times that women love confidence in a man. They're attracted to that level of confidence. And again, it's not like you have to be a Fred Astaire or John Melendrez. You just got to get out and do a couple of steps, feel good, be confident, and women are attracted to that. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And that's where, again, the benefit of taking some private lessons too, because it builds up your confidence level. And when you feel confident, and that's really, leadership requires confidence.
Yes.
And you're being asked, the women are depending on you to lead them.
Yes.
And if you could show that you could do that, it's very attractive to them.
Yes, it is.
And so I couldn't stress strongly enough how it's benefited me, and how much fun we've had. We actually miss it. And
now,
Leo, you did a lot on cruise ships and that, so that was fun.
Yeah, I know. Great. What was that,
John? One thing I wanted to pipe in on. It's okay, honey. You don't have to twist your head. Is y'all are talking about confidence. one of the things that I've seen and I experienced myself as as I started out as a beginner dancer and then grew into the level that I'm at now, especially for men, is not just the dance ability, but there's so many other advantages to learning how to dance. For example, just your posture. I mean, I've seen people who are really slouchy, and over the course of starting to learn how to dance, they stand up straighter, their posture improves, their balance improves. It's, of course, the cardiovascular, of course, that's,
Yes.
A pretty no-brainer.
Yes.
But you're talking about what somebody, what their appearance may be. Good posture can, take somebody from a 5 to a 10 just by standing up and, holding their body properly. It's so many advantages to dancing.
A lot of my lessons, I teach posture, and posture is super important for confidence and respect. If you're going up to your boss and you want to raise, you're going to be hunched over. No one's going to take you seriously hunched over. But if you stand up tall and be confident, there's a good chance, you may possibly get that raise or get more respected or be looked upon much differently than a person who's not very confident, not very sure of himself. And I can't say how many articles there are. There's so many articles about the health benefits of dancing. What goes on in your brain, learning new material, learning something new. There's tons of health benefits out there that people can benefit from just learning to dance.
Another neat thing is, have you noticed? I mean, I certainly have. It seems like the people that are in the dance community are ageless. They're ageless. You see people in their 70s and 80s, and you would swear that they were 20 and 30 years younger than they really are. It's really quite remarkable.
It really is. I mean, look at me. I'm 85. I mean, I've been dancing all my life, and I don't look a day over, right?
You're looking real good there, John.
John, permit me to tell a little story about this. So I had this female dance instructor, and one day we were at the studio and practicing, and she said, "Oh, I want you to meet," and this old man came in, and she said, "I want you to meet him." So I went over and I said hello, and she says to him, "So John, how old are you now?" He said, "I'm 96. I said, "Oh, really? Nice." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, boy, I bet you had a lot of good years dancing." And he said something like, "Yeah, I had 4 great years dancing." I said, "That's it?" He said, "I didn't start till I was 92." He said, "But but I started having problems because my wife was getting so jealous because all these women wanted to dance with me that," he said, "I finally quit." He said, "Then the icing on the cake was his son. His doctor wouldn't let his son drive at night because he was too old." So he's a 96-year-old. He's still dancing. He would still be. Well, I saw this stuff all the time. I'm sure you did too. It's for your health. It's great, and I'm not sure why it's so great on the health front because it's not particularly strenuous, but they say mentally, physically, it's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
Good for your soul.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it too, for your spirit. So that's all the confidence. So I couldn't more highly recommend it. It's been of such great help to me.
You just have so much.
What was that?
You have so much more fun at social events.
Yeah.
When you're playing weddings, especially when you can get up and really dance. There's a big difference between just getting out there on the dance floor and wiggling and shaking your booty as being able to partner with somebody. And men, women, it doesn't really matter who's leading, who's following. We did a lot of Jack and Jack. I wish more people.
Oh, geez. I think we're having some technical difficulties. I'm not sure if I can't hear you very well. And I'm getting a little thinking ball here. So I do want to close out by saying that, you know, Melendrez Dance Studios, face to face. We are doing group classes. I've combined forces with my little brother, Maya, at royalpalacedance.com. We have group classes throughout the week, and I encourage you to check out that website and check out their weekly schedule for group lessons. Again, Melendrez Dance Studio is now open for private lessons, and we are happy to announce that. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to direct message me. Have a great day. Stay safe out there, and please wear a mask. Bye-bye.